In today's video, I want to give you a very simple approach how you can get into the feeling to create like really cool FM rhythms for grids and stabs. And in the previous videos, we have talked a little bit about the theory, which I will link up here. But today we will have a more like intuitive approach to it. Also, there will be a little bonus tip at the end of the video. So first things first, we need to be in the right key and we need to be in the right octave. Most FM sounds usually don't sound very good if you put them on other notes. Just saying like I do this, and I do this a lot to put them on other notes because I think sometimes you get really cool results, but most of the time it's not sounding good. We want to find first the right octave. So that's obviously too high. Let's go a little bit down. Sounds already kind of like in the area-ish. That's where we want to go. Once we have this, I find it usually easier to just like fold it. We have one bar, so we have like 16 notes, and we would fill all of this up. We have 16 notes. And that means basically we have, for our first note, we have 16 positions. For our second one, we have like 15 positions left, and so on. Let's say you wanna put like 4 notes in, then you would have like 16 x 15 x 14 x 13. A lot of options actually, and that's what probably confuses like most of you. And when I started like doing my first rhythms, I was kind of like drawing them in wildly, and I think all of that is not like a really cool idea. So what I would suggest is that we start very simple. So we want to place like one note in a 1-bar thing, and to make it even more simple, I tell you we want to place one note in the first quarter here. So let's check that out. And now we only have 4 options. That could be a start. That's even cooler, I think, with kind of like leaving the kick out. It makes some kind of rhythmic thing already. This one I don't like so much, so I would go with either this or this one. And to be honest, I think this one sounded the best, and that's actually will be our approach. We will kind of like do small tiny steps and always evaluate, is it the thing we like the most? That's it. That's kind of like the question. You have four options here. Do we like this here more than this? And I would say yes. So now we have like our first note, and now we do the same for the second one. And basically what I would say, the range where we probably will place it will be probably between here. So we have like 5 options only. That's pretty cool. You can also try to make it like a little bit shorter just to make sure that we feel the separation in that case. I think that's not very interesting. It just sounds like a longer note. That doesn't sound so good as well. It's somehow too fast. That's where it starts sounding good. That could be also an option, but same principle. I like this one more so far. This one is also, I think it has something question and answer-ish to it. I like this one the most. It's that easy. We just compare out of 5 options which one we like most. So if you're already excluding options, then in the end you have usually like 2, maybe 3 things to decide on. So now we have this. So here's the same. I think this is just like a long note. This one is definitely too late. It sounds like it missed the point somehow. And so we only have those 2 here. This one also sounds a bit late for me. So we take this position here. So I feel from here, actually, I already felt it like a little bit too late. I think this is definitely here. So this was already too late, this will be even more too late, and this will be more too late, and this will be more and more too late. So we will check this one. Just to be sure, one last time. No, that's cool, like this. This sounds rhythmically, but I feel it gets like a little bit repetitive and boring here. You see, like this is the same, this is the same, this is the same distance. And that's it, finishes our rhythm. So now we can decide on a few other things. Maybe we want to fill up some gaps, like this, make like a few shorter notes in between, and just like do this. So that's an option. And here then we can also check, does it get better if we make like a long note in here? I think like that, it's pretty cool actually. And now, as you know, I like to play with that also a lot. Maybe find like new rhythms we didn't discover before. We can change the length of those notes and check if it improves. I know it sounds a little bit too simple for a tutorial, but I think there are like 3 really main core concepts in it. Make it simple for you, go by intuition, so really kind of like check what makes you move, what kind of like fits to the sound, what fits to the sounds which are already there. In that case, we don't have many sounds, but the bass line has, for example, some movement in it. And the third thing is focus on one thing at a time. So instead of kind of like programming the whole rhythm already in or being in the next thing, we are in the moment, we are in the now. We are kind of like evaluating this one thing always. And that makes it really simple for us to do things. So I stayed in one octave, I stayed in one note length, I stayed in the same velocity. All those things we can potentially change now. So we can mess around with the note lengths, we can mess around with the velocities, we can try different octaves, but for now we found like a really cool rhythms, and from there we can work on, we can build up on that. And maybe you're asking yourself now, okay, this is like a 1-bar loop, isn't that a bit repetitive? It depends. I mean, there's things where you can use this, but if you want to have something longer, then just take what we have and duplicate it. And then you still have like a 1-bar loop. So we need to do something with that. Now we can like start with the same principle again. So we could, for example, like move this note here. I think you get the principle. The thing is, don't make it too complicated. Just like try to do like tiny baby steps, and with that you usually find really cool things. And now I want to show you a little bonus trick. And the bonus trick is, and I really dig that lately. I think it's a really cool trick. And it's so simple. You just need to loop, and the important thing is, if you loop like that, it will just repeat all the time. So you will need to loop to an odd number. That's the important thing. Because once you kind of like loop to an odd number, and it could be like 3 16s, it could be like 5. Actually, yeah, 6 maybe, like even 6 or something would work as well, but don't loop like that or don't loop like that. So kind of like go into a pattern which is kind of like a polymetric, you could say, to your 4 on the floor pattern thing. and polymetric in a sense that it doesn't kind of like overlap all the time with your 4 on the floor. So let's say, like, for example, we loop on 3/16, then we get this kind of like pattern here. Let's try this. Okay, we need to do this a little, make this a little bit longer. Yeah, and then you just listen, and you cut out a nice part, and now you have your new rhythm. That's all. No, actually, it's like that. It's super simple, and as you see, like the position here is here, and then because we had that kind of like polymetric repetition, we have the second one here, and it kind of like moves backwards here in time. And from there, you can of course then start and work around and do some stuff. Usually get like really cool repetitive things which are not repetitive then, because they are changing all the time in the loop. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and if you want to see more about my production, and in my members area I have recorded productions of mine, so you can basically see all the steps I do when I create a track, especially in the arrangement side. You will see a lot how I work my tracks and all the fine details. So if you're interested in that and you want to kind of like take a more raw, uncut approach and then just like nicely polished tutorials, then this might be for you, because that's kind of like the behind the scenes content which I only do for my special membership subscribers. And you're also supporting this channel, which is really important for me to run this channel, which then is important for you to get like cool tutorials. So see you in my next video, and also leave me in the comments what you want to know, which topics you are interested, because a lot of times I'm just guessing in the dark what could be interesting for you guys. And if you tell me that you have problems with that, or you want to know like how to make cool acid lines or how to mix drums or whatever, then just write this into the comments, and then I can decide if I have something to tell about this. So see you in my next video.